if I can tell a story, is my wife was working on something, a television film, highly prestigious television film, and they had a budget. And the director suddenly said, I want a teacher in these 2 scenes, but we don't have very much money. We can't afford to pay the union rate. We can't do what you normally do. So it's really just 2 lines, 1 in each scene. And they were filming in a particular part of the country. And they said, does anybody know any actors who live nearby? And my wife said, yeah, actually, one of my husband's best friends lives 15 miles away. Oh, what's his name? They looked him up and they saw that he was good. And they said, okay, here's the thing. It's £2,000 for the job, 1,000 a day, but it's spread over, it was a series, it wasn't a film. It's spread over 10 weeks or something. But we can't afford to do it the normal way for the broadcaster that would do it. So we don't want to go through an agent. Now, this actor I knew was broke, and the reason I knew he was broke, he just borrowed £500 from me. And I said, look, here's the deal. The job is yours. They've seen you photographs. They've seen you in other things. I know you've got no other work. It's a cheek, because if you were doing it under the normal rules, you'd probably get more money. But they just can't do it because they don't have the money in the budget. So this is the number for you to ring the line producer, and it's all yours. It's over to you. About a week later, my wife said to me, when she came home, she said, what went wrong with John Smith, we'll call him? I said, what do you mean? They said, I specifically told you, David, that no agents had to be involved. And I said, well, I told him that. They said, well, his agent rang up. And I rang the actor and I said, you've not got that job. Oh, I thought you said it was mine. I said, well, it was, but I also said you had to ring them yourself. And he said, oh, I don't ring line producers. I'm an actor. I have an agent to do that. And I said, but the very fact you did that, you've just lost £2,000. And that sums it up. And I said, and I would later stay with him. And I said, the whole business is about networking and things. And he said, he's of the old school. And he said, I refuse to do networking. I just won't do it. And he hasn't acted. I mean, he hasn't acted in 25 years. And in fact, that job was only about 15 years ago. So he hadn't acted in a long time. And that to me is very, very typical. If you're not prepared to do the networking, you're not going to get on. And networking happens all the time. I'm networking. This is networking. Somebody that you're talking to might have some idea for a documentary that's perfect for me, and they'll come to me before they go anywhere else. And that's all it is. It's about making contacts. And so this person will contact me and say, and I go, who are you? I'm not sure. Oh, I'm watch Tommy's podcast. And I go, oh, right. So that immediately gives us a connection. And that's all it's about, having connections, because people write to me on Facebook and I befriend them because they're in the industry. And then they immediately say, can you give me a job? Can you get me this? And I'd unfriend them immediately. That's a not very nice way of networking. That's kind of like using people. I know everybody's trying to use everybody to try and help get on. We all do it. It's a part of it. But there's ways of doing it. And just every time you work on something in this industry, you're networking, because there's immediately 10 people at least on that production, who you get on with, and they all think of you for something else to do. There was a female actor I worked with many, many years ago, and she was awful. She was, I don't know what her problem was, but she upset so many people. She was dreadful on this production. And many years went by, and I got a phone call from her agent, who I knew. And she said, David, I know you tend to be honest, which is why I'm ringing you and not ringing other people. But my client, I just can't get my client any work, and I don't understand it. The client was a truly brilliant actor. I mean, outstanding actor. Can you tell me why? And I told what happened on this film, and she behaved disgracefully. And I said, on that film, I said, I happen to know there are 8 of us who are all in a position. So there's like myself, another producer, the director, the writer, the first assistant director, the production manager, all people who at some point will be asked about a particular actor for a job, because that's what you do. You say, what do you think of this actor for the job in your production meetings or something? You just, and people will go, oh, don't work with that person, or oh, that's brilliant. Oh yeah, they would be great. It's how it goes on. And I know, because we used to keep in touch with each other, the 8 of us had lost this actor work, because over the course of however many years it was, we'd all been asked. What one of the people went on to be very important in the television industry, you know, power behind the throne. And that was why. She had a very bad reputation of being, the work was brilliant, not turning up on set when they were supposed to be, not acting with other actors when the camera wasn't on her, all those sort of awful things, they had an effect. The other actors didn't like her. That's a really, you know, when other actors don't like you. So when you're working on something, that's networking.